Hi, I'm Julie Bauer. I'm a local chemist here in Kalamazoo, and today we're going to make glue out of milk. So when you're getting ready to do this experiment at home, the first thing you have to pay attention to is safety. So you want to make sure you get a good pair of safety glasses on if you have them. You might want to wear an apron or an old shirt over your clothes to protect your clothes, or a lab coat if you have one. And the other safety issue that's real important is the heating of the milk. Don't heat the milk without a parent or guardian unless you have permission to do so. You can heat it in a microwave or in an oven, but be sure that you have a hot glove or a hot mitt so that when you touch that milk container, it won't burn your fingers. Okay, so let's make the glue. The first thing you do when you're baking a cake is you get all your parts together. Make sure that you have every ingredient that you need. So today, we're heating our milk here on this magnetic stirrer. And we have glasses to hold our milk product as we're making the glue. A fork for mixing, some measuring spoons, milk, vinegar, baking soda, water, and some paper towel to filter it. You can also use a coffee filter to filter it. So the first thing you do when you're making moo glue is you heat the milk. This is the type of heater we would use in a lab. It has a big heater underneath and a magnet. That magnet interacts with a magnet that we put into the milk that allows that milk to stir. And it heats it up as well. If you have a thermometer at home, you can test the temperature of your milk. If you don't, that's okay. Just make it warm to the touch. Once your milk is warm, you want to transfer that milk to a cup or a vessel of some sort that won't melt because of the warm milk. Just pour that right in there. Okay, and then the first thing we're going to do to that milk is we're going to add the vinegar. I put the vinegar into this little cup so that it would be easier to measure. 2 teaspoons of vinegar go into the milk. And we mix it. Now I chose to use a fork instead of a spoon because when you use a fork, it's easier to mix and it breaks the chunks up. Can you see what's happening in here? That casein protein that's in milk is denaturing. It's becoming a big glob. The solid part is called curds. The liquid part is called whey. So we want to use this curds to make our milk. Now when you do this at home, you might find that you have smaller pieces or chunkier pieces. It doesn't matter. It's just as long as you have those solids. I'm trying to get this off of here and it's not coming. There we go. So now we take the solids and the liquids and we filter them into another cup. When you filter them, you want to use a paper towel or coffee filter. You place the paper towel over your cup and put a little indent into the paper towel where the solids can form, like a little cup on top. And you want to be sure to hold on to that paper towel because if you have a big chunk of curds and you put it on the paper towel and you're not holding it, the whole paper towel will go into the cup. So now let's filter our curds and whey. The liquid will go all the way through. And the solid stays on top. Now we want to take that solid and put it back into the empty cup. You just scoop it right up or scrape it off if you have to scrape it off. Now you have the solids and you're going to add baking soda to make your moo glue. We add 2 teaspoons of baking soda. One teaspoon. 2 teaspoons. And we get our trusty fork and we mix that in. You want to get this baking soda really mixed in with those curds. Now, a lot of the time, it's too dry at this point. So you want to add some water to the curds. Now, don't add too much water at once because if you do, you won't be able to get that water out and your glue might be too thin. So just add a little bit of water. You can always add more water later. And we mix the curds in with the baking soda and the water, and we break it up as best we can. Now while I'm breaking this up, let me tell you a little history about casein, the milk that we're making this glue out of, the protein from the milk that we're making this glue out of. Casein was used in ancient Egypt to build boats. It was used for that because it's very strong and it's waterproof. So when it came along the time for World War II, they used it to waterproof airplanes, having learned from the Egyptians about the waterproofing capabilities of casein. So this protein from milk, casein, it makes your body strong and it waterproofs airplanes. Pretty cool stuff, huh? So now you can see that the glue, or the baking soda and the casein are mixed in real well together, but it might need a little bit more water. So we add a little more water and we mix it some more. Now, as a scientist, which all of you can be, you want to play a little bit. You can ask yourself, what happens if I use milk that has fat in it, like whole milk? What happens if the milk isn't warm? What happens if it's too warm? What happens if I add more vinegar or more baking soda? How does that change my curds? How does it change my glue? Is my glue more consistent? Is my glue stronger? All those kinds of questions you can play and ask as a scientist. All right, we've got our moo glue here. And now you can use that to glue things together. Now I played with my moo glue a little bit after making it, and I took 2 pieces of wood and glued them together. This glue is so strong, I can't pull it apart. So go on, go play at your house and have some fun.